It is my pleasure to welcome you to this Accelerating Public Access to Research Data National Summit on behalf of AAU. We're excited to host this summit to engage with all of you, where we all have an opportunity to learn from one another. When AAU and our colleagues at APLU hosted the first Accelerating Public Access to Research Data workshop in 2018, we received an overwhelming response from participants. They wanted us to continue convening stakeholders to discuss issues, best practices, and successes in improving access to research data. This project is designed to continue convening the memberships of our associations and draw on the deep wells of experience and expertise and the breadth of perspectives on this key topic. We're using this expertise and knowledge to then develop recommendations to accelerate public access to research data. Over the course of this project, we've hosted 3 conferences, engaged more than 30 research universities, and 279 university leaders. Why are we doing this? Because better access to research data means better transparency and reproducibility of scientific results. This in turn leads to increasing scientific rigor and improves public trust in science. If there's one thing we've learned over the last year, it is that our nation needs a better understanding of and confidence in scientific knowledge. Most importantly, improving access to data helps boost the pace of discovery and innovation. AAU and APLU have long fought to protect and preserve the principle of open data access. We also understand how important it is for institutions to develop and implement policies that ensure consistency of data management, to guarantee full compliance with federal research agency data sharing requirements. And to make all of this possible, universities must invest in the infrastructure and support necessary to achieve all these goals. Today, we will share with you a pre-publication of the guide to accelerate public access to research data, and we'll discuss how to move the guide's recommendations into action. We are engaged in this project with a host of other American and international organizations, too numerous to list. But I would like to express my thanks specifically to several individuals and organizations whose hard work resulted in the guide and in today's summit. First, many thanks to the APARD Steering Committee, which is chaired by Sarah Nusser of Iowa State University. And I should tell you that Sarah is also recently appointed AAU Senior Fellow. Thanks also to the National Science Foundation and our program officer, Dr. Martin Halbert. Dr. Halbert is the NSF Science Advisor for Public Access in the Office of Advanced Cyber Infrastructure. Advanced Cyber Infrastructure, yes. And Casey Redd, our colleague at APLU, Bob Samors, who's consulted with AAU and APLU on the grant, and our own great team here at AAU, Toby Smith and Emily Miller, who've been helping to coordinate this complex and timely project. With that, I will turn the program over to our partner in this endeavor, my friend and colleague, Peter McPherson, president of APLU.
Well, thank you so much. Good to be here. And Barbara, thank you for your comments. Those thank yous that you gave to so many critical people are much appreciated, and I know held by all. We too thank the National Science Foundation, NIH, and others for this important support for the workshop, and now for this summit and for the development of the guide. The APARD Steering Committee, this was literally a years-long effort. Sarah, we appreciate the work and all the committee as you work so hard to put this together. We at APLU, with basically virtually all the Carnegie 1 and 2 public universities as members, and all the land grants, of course, are, along with our colleagues at AAU, a partnership which we plays out every day on so many fronts. We're so pleased to have been part of all this and helping to work on it. I think, as Barbara did, it's important to step back and talk again about why this is important work. Research has done so much, and we've seen some of the huge impact of that during this pandemic. But the frontier to use a word we're often hearing now, the frontier of what can be done is so enormous. But to keep that together, to get that public support, we need that public trust. And frankly, open source is part of maintaining or expanding that public trust. It's transparency. It's moving things faster. This is not just a theory. This is the practical reality that the work that you all have done here makes so very important. So I congratulate you and know that much more is to be done, but important step here. So let me conclude my remarks by saying I just heard a few moments ago, I know what we're talking about here is data, not publications, but I was intrigued and really very excited actually that it looks like the University of California system and Elsevier have come to an agreement. I mean, that would appear, I haven't seen anything except the few words of an email, but would appear to greatly expand the immediate and free of cost publications. That I think is an important step of the UC faculty. So let me just conclude by welcome you and thank you for all the good work that you're doing here.
Thank you. We'll now turn to Martin.
Hi, folks. It's my great pleasure to be here. I see a lot of familiar faces and names on the call. I'm delighted to extend greetings from the National Science Foundation to everybody on the call today. Just a couple of quick points about the NSF. We are the only federal agency whose mission includes support for all fields of fundamental science and engineering. And we are tasked with keeping the United States at the leading edge of discovery in areas from astronomy to geology to zoology. So in addition to funding research in the traditional academic areas, the agency also supports high risk, high payoff ideas and novel collaborations and projects that may seem like science fiction today, but which the public will take for granted tomorrow. It is my particular pleasure to be the program director for the NSF's public access program, which has funded the APART effort. And I want to commend everybody involved in the project in the AAU and the APLU, and also to commend everybody on the call for expressing and demonstrating your interest in these important areas of emerging best practices in research data management. So I'm going to keep my comments brief and in the interest of moving on to the program and simply say welcome from the NSF, and we're delighted that this program is going on.